Thank you, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, and all protocols observed. I'll touch on a few bases and areas that have not been explored in this congregation. And I will start with the issue of illicit brews and drugs in our schools. And even as we go through this conference, how can we partner with the head of schools, the principals, and the other head teachers so that we can also take this conference to our schools? Or alternatively, we can have another conference with the head teachers and the principals. Because between you and me, we know we have a lot of drugs in our schools, both the boys and the girls' schools. So, Your Excellency, I would request that you can also convene another conference so that we can talk to the head teachers and the principals, because we still have drugs in our schools. And in that conference, you will realize, Your Excellency, that our pupils, our children in schools, they have a way of getting drugs in their schools. For example, the water they take, they mix with something. The sodas and the juices, the beverages containers that they have. At one point when I worked with Nakanda privately, although I was working in a media house then, some of these things we did and we carried in our schools, in different schools, and you realize that the container, for example, that has bluebird, you'd think it has bluebird all the way from the bottom to the top. But as you dig deeper, you will realize that below the surface, the drugs are there for our students. When they go for the midterms and the other festive seasons, and they mix up with the other school going children, you will realize that sodas they take is endless. They are keeping the containers in their pockets throughout, and you think they are not quenching their thirsts. The mixtures that they put in those bottles than drugs. So I am requesting kindly, Your Excellency, that we also conduct another conference and we incorporate the principals and the head of schools so that we can also talk to them on issues, drugs in our secondary schools and in our colleges. The other issue, Your Excellency, I would wish to bring to this attention in this conference is about the people also who traffic drugs. And they are innocent traffickers. For example, in the urban centers, you will always see a mother carrying a baby throughout in a certain stage. And that baby is throughout on her back. And there's nothing she's doing other than selling drugs. She's the highest trafficker. Number two, you will realize these guys who sell puppies, tumbwa tudogo, tujibwa. They will always have that puppy and it is never sold. But for those people who know him or who know them, we always know this is our identity. This is the person who sells drugs. So wako kaumbo akauzwi kanazunguka tu hapo na mwenyewe. Your Excellency, I am asking kindly that you dig deeper into the traffickers of our drugs. Another issue, as we traffic the drugs and as we cut down all these things, our ambulances. The vehicles that we trust very much that they are here to take our issues and our urgent issues and matters health. I would wish, Your Excellency, and our CS here, Mheshimiwa Kithure Kindiki, also start cracking down the ambulances. They are the most innocent drug traffickers. I'm just giving you a tip, Your Excellency. The other tip I want to give you, Your Excellency, is about the hearses. Zile magari zinapepa maiti. You would think they are carrying a dead body in those hearses. Do a few crackdowns, you will realize that in those hearses, in the coffins, kuna bangi, kuna dawa za kulevya. This war is harsher than we thought. It is deeply rooted than we can think. Your Excellency, as I finish, want to bring to your attention that the commonly used drugs have their coded language. So the consumers have their people on how they count their language so that our officers may not know what they are talking about. For example, bangi inaitwa stone, inaitwa marijuana, inaitwa Mary Jane, na ni bangi tu, inaitwa shashamane. Heroin inaitwa brown sugar ama glucose. Kwa hivyo utasikia kijana akisema nisaidie na brown sugar, unadhania ni sukari ya kupika chai. Those are part of the drugs that we are talking about. And about our mirror traders, the ones who come to buy our mirrors and our mogoka, Your Excellency. The entry of our hand drugs in our mogoka mirror growing areas are brought in by those coming to buy our mogoka and our mirror. So what they do, they exchange the hand drugs with our mogoka and our mirror. Our security agencies do your investigations, and I am as right as I speak. Ya mwisho kabisa, Your Excellency, we know that we have the legal alcohol and the illegal alcohol. But I want to tell this congregation, doesn't matter. Whether it is licensed or not licensed, the result is the same. Only that the illicit brew is an instant killer. Because you can just take it and lose your eyes, lose your sight, or even die. But for the other one, if you choose to take it, it's a slow puncher. It will kill you slowly. Why? Because alcohol is the highly consumed drug with over 60%. Na ninamalizia sasa. Ya mwisho kabisa, ile ya mwisho. Your Excellency. Ndio nikae chini. I want to bring to your attention about the illicit brew, and it will shock you, Your Excellency, and CS Interior. The illicit brews that we are talking about, Mama Kendi, and another one in Embu that was being brewed by somebody called Lambo, who I fought with very vigorously when I was working in a radio station, and he was arrested and stopped brewing, but he's now back again in the system. People who are here and you consume the illicit brews of that nature from Mama Kendi, believe you me, why you are not found at home. Ikipikwa, inawekwa rotten eggs, mayai ya vioza. Hiyo pombe, and I'm sorry to say this, Your Excellency, with the grown-ups here, but because you started it, I will also say it, that they used sanitary pads in those brews. In those brews. They put the sanitary pads that are used. They use Sisal in those concoctions. And lastly, Your Excellency, with all humility and with a lot of shame from a mother, Mama County, Embu County, those brewers, the Mama Kendi and the others I'm talking about, they use dirty, old, used innerwears for women. And they put in the concoction, na ya mwisho, they put rats. Rats, dead rats. I'm telling you this for a fact. So that, ukienda kukunywa hapo, Your Excellency, na najua ukunywi na mimi hata mimi sijawahi kunywa, you always be rotating there. Inakufunga tu. That concussion. Unaenda kuchotewa tu, unaona karati kamechomoka, kasuruari kamama kamechomoka, mayai yamechomoka, sanitary pad imetumika. It is quite embarrassing. Why am I saying so all this, Your Excellency? That we are ready, and I'm ready to take the task. I am ready, Your Excellency, and the CS, to be the ambassador in Embu County to fight against the illicit brews tukishikana na nakada. I am ready to bear the cost. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As the county commander comes, the OCS for Lari Police Station, and the last